Good morning, student. Today we'll study a new topic, which is Module 3, Control of HVDC System. Till now, we have seen the basic component of an HVDC system, like rectifier, inverter, converter, transformer. And out of this, basically, we have studied the converter characteristics, whether rectifier or inverter. Okay, we have studied how these converter actually operate, and in that case, there is with firing angle 0, and then with some firing angle alpha, and then with firing angle and no commutation overlap, and then we have studied firing angle and commutation overlap both together. Okay, so we have till now we have studied the converter characteristics or the operating principle of converter. Now onwards, we will study the HVDC control of the HVDC system. That means how to control the power flow uh, through how to control the power flow through the DC line through the DC line, which is between the rectifier terminal and inverter terminal. Okay. Now, one thing is to keep in mind is that the HVDC system is highly controllable. Why? Because in HVDC system, on one side we have rectifier and other rectifier terminal, and other side we have inverter terminal. Now, um, the DC voltage at any point in the DC link, the DC line or the DC system, that is in between the rectifier and inverter terminal, can be controlled by controlling the firing pulses, that is alpha, or can be controlled by controlling the tap changer of the converter transformer. Okay, we'll see. Okay, so these to fully utilize these converter and these thyristor valves, you need to properly choose the these firing angle, the amount of the delay will going to provide to the system. And out of these two control, that means one is by controlling the firing pulses through the thyristor valve, and another is by changing is by tap changing the converter transformer. Okay, now the time taken for the voltage change with the tap changing setting is more compared to firing pulse control. Okay, so practically we use both. That is, for fast control we will use the firing pulse control, and for steady state some delay control we'll use the tap changing setting of the converter transformer. Okay, now we'll see the overall circuit, how these actually the electrical connection of how this HVDC circuit looks like. Okay, looks like. See, this is the schematic diagram of this HVDC system. Suppose the three-phase AC and this is three-phase AC. Our, in between these two, see, there is DC link. Okay, now this is converter transformer. This is working as a rectifier. This is working as inverter. We have studied all this thing, and this is something like a monopolar link or the one link of a bipolar link. I think we have studied the previous lecture and we are familiar with this name monopolar or bipolar. Okay. Now next is the circuit diagram. This is the electrical circuit diagram of how an HVDC system, internal HVDC system look like. This is this VD0, you know the value of VD0, which is proportional to line to phase voltage, that is line to neutral voltage RMS value. These R and these I actually indicates this R is for rectifier terminal and this I is for inverter terminal. So basically this one is for rectifier terminal and this one is for inverter terminal, and in between this is the DC link. So RL is nothing but the resistance of the DC line. I is the current flowing through the line. Now, this VD0 cos alpha is the internal voltage in the rectifier converter. And when we and this RC is commutating resistance, which denotes for the voltage drop due to this commutation overlap, which doesn't have any physical existence, but still we know. I think we have studied. So this is why we know that why it is minus RC. We have studied in the previous lecture. Okay. This is the voltage DC. VDR is the voltage across the rectifier. There is DC voltage across the rectifier terminal. Similarly, VDR is the DC voltage across the inverter terminal. Okay, now see what I have said is that I can change the value of this VDR. That means what I have said I can change the power flow through this DC line can be controlled. Power flow is for rectifier terminal. Power is VDR into ID. Now this power flow can be changed either by controlling VDR or by controlling ID. Okay, now I have said there is two ways to change this VDR. One is by changing these firing pulses, keeping this VD0R. VD0R constant means it is proportional to phase voltage, that is the transformer secondary winding induced voltage. And if the tap changing is fixed, this voltage will not change. So one process of varying this VDR is to vary this alpha while keeping this VD0 or constant. Similarly, here also one option of varying this VDI is to keep this VD0I constant, means this tap changing of this transformer in this terminal constant by varying this gamma. This is for inverter case. And second is keep this varying L constant, vary this VDG vary this VDG means proportional to phase voltage, that is vary this tap changing of the transformer while keeping this alpha constant. Similarly here also keep these tap changing of this converter transfer inverter terminal converter transformer, let this tap changing change. Why this gamma constant? Then this VD0 can change. Okay, and when this VD0 change, this VDI change, or when this VD0 are change, this VDR change, the power flow will change through this line. Okay, you see. VD0 cos alpha. Now from here there is some voltage drop due to this RCR. Due to this RCR, there is some voltage drop. So this is VD0 magnitude. Suppose VD0 cos alpha. Due to this voltage drop, there is some drop in voltage, and we get this VDR. Now, throughout this line, this voltage is almost constant. A slight voltage drop, almost constant. Now, from VDI, now see, VDI, we get this voltage as this is minus, so this voltage will be added to this one. So this get increased to VD0 cos alpha. Okay. We know this the current. Now, if we look about this circuit, the current ID is nothing but this voltage minus this voltage over total resistance. So this current ID equal to difference between the voltage and total resistance. Now, as I've said, power at the rectifier terminal is VDR into ID, means voltage, DC voltage across the rectifier terminal into current. So DC voltage at the rectifier terminal VDR into DC voltage at the rectifier terminal VDR into current ID. This is the power at the rectifier terminal. Similarly, power at the inverter terminal is DC voltage at the inverter terminal multiplied this current ID, which is given here. Okay. Now this equal to this VDID equal to this VDID power is equal to this power is equal to this inverter power, which is power available here is this power minus, let's see, the power available here. The power available at the inverter terminal is the power available at this rectifier terminal minus the power loss here. So if we think the power at the inverter, power loss here is ID square into RL. So inverter terminal power PDI equal to PDR, power across this rectifier terminal minus this voltage or this power loss, I square into RL. There is ID square into RL. Okay. Now here we will see the basic means of control. Basic means of control. The direct voltage at any point on the line and the current, as I have said, which I have said is written here. can be changed by changing this either VD0R or by changing this alpha. Similarly here either VD0I or this gamma. And again, as I have said, that this gate control or the firing pulse control is faster compared to this tap changing setting or written here. There are some basis for selection of control. There are some basis. There are some basis for selection of control. There are some basis for selection of control. What are the basis? First one is the why we need to control the HVDC system. First one is need to prevent the large fluctuations in the direct current due to variations in AC system voltage. Now see, why we need to control the HVDC system. If we look carefully here, if this firing angle and this extension angle gamma both are constant, this is a denominator is already constant. Now if this firing angle and this extension angle are constant, now this ID is directly ID is directly dependent on this VD0R and this VD0I. That means that this VD0R or this VD0I is directly proportional to the phase voltage. That is the EMF induced, the voltage induced across the transformer secondary winding. And if the line voltage changes, the voltage induced across the transformer winding changes, and this VD0 or this VD0 will change, this ID will change. That means if there is fluctuations in the supply system, which is quite obvious, this ID, the current flowing through HVDC system will change, which is not desirable at all. Because for any good system or any stable system, what you need to have that the response of the system, that is whether voltage or current, it has to there is the change in this there is voltage or current has to depend minimum on the external point, external parameter. So that's why this term prevention of large fluctuations in direct current due to variations in the system voltage. And the second is maintain the direct voltage near the rated value. That means it's VD0R or VDI. Means you need to maintain the voltage at the rectifier terminal or inverter terminal at its rated value. Why? If these are not at its rated value, the valve utilization or the converter utilization will be not good. And if not good, then economically it will not be advantageous to use LUV system. Similarly, there will be losses also. There is underutilization of the component. Third is maintaining the power factor of the sending and receiving end as high as possible. But there is a reason why we have to keep this power factor as high as possible. I think you know, but still we will study in the next page. So next is the prevention of commutation failure in the inverter and the arc back in the rectifier. Now, see, the rapid control of the converter to prevent large fluctuations in the direct current is an important requirement, as I've said, in the HVDC link. Referring to equation 3.33, that means if we think about this equation, if we think about this equation, we think about this equation, the line and the converter resistance, that is RCR, RCI, or the RL are very small. Hence, a small change in this as denominator is very small. So, if this VD0 or VDI, or that is the DC voltage across the rectifier terminal or the DC voltage across the inverter terminal, changes slightly due to slight change in the supply side, the supply voltage, the ID will change enormously. Okay, as the denominator is already less, so if there is slight change in the numerator, the value ID will change enormously. For example, we think a 25% change in the voltage at either side of the rectifier or the inverter, that would cause the direct current to change by as much as 100%. Okay, this is experimental or less or equal to 100%. Okay, so that means this implies that if both these firing angle or these the rectifier side and extension angle at the inverter side are kept constant, the direct current can vary over a wide range for small changes in the alternating voltage magnitude in either end. Such variations are generally unacceptable for, as I've said, for satisfactory performance of the power system. In addition, the resulting current may be very high, which may damage the rectifier thyristor valve, and also there may be a huge amount of losses. Okay, so we need to control the HVDC system. That means you need to control the firing angle and the extension angle of the rectifier inverter side, respectively. Okay. Now see, for a given amount of power transmitted, for a given, now we study the what is the importance of the keeping the power factor as high as possible. For a given amount of power transfer through HVDC system, this voltage, rated voltage profile along the line should be close to the rated value, because as I've said, this rectifier or this inverter, the insulation level of the thyristor valve depends on the voltage valve. So if the voltage across this thyristor, across this converter terminal are very less than the rated value, then there will be underutilization of this component, and that means there may be unnecessary heating or unnecessary losses in the system, and the performance will not be economic. So in that case, for a given amount of power transmitted, the voltage has to be maintained at the rated value, nearly equals to rated value. So if power is constant and voltage is at its rated value, so current will be less because P equal to VI. If you think about DC, and for the AC side, P equal to VI cos theta. For a fixed power, voltage is already high, and if I need to maintain the current low or current less, then I need to make this power factor high. Okay. There are several reasons for maintaining this power factor. First one, to keep the rated power of the converter as high as possible for given current and voltage rating transformer and valve. Now, as the current reduces, the stresses on the valves also reduces, which helps in the lifespan of these thyristor valve. Third is to minimize losses. Why? Because current is less, the losses will be less, and the current rating of the equipment system to which converter is connected. Similarly, maintain voltage drop, there is IR drop, and to minimize the cost of reactive power supply. Now, why, how this current power factor high related to this cost of reactive power supply? Now, you know, in equity system or any AC system, you need to provide the auxiliary equipment that will supply the reactive power to the system. Now, if we maintain the reactive power high, that means cos theta high. That means theta is less. And you know power reactive power proportional to sin theta. So if theta is less, sin theta will be less. So for a fixed amount of voltage and current, where sin theta will be less. So reactive or requirement of the system will be less. So that means there will have to use minimum amount of reactive power supply and equipment. That means that will minimize the cost. Okay. If we think about, if we look back to question 10.23, if you go back to previous lecture, and from equation 10.23 we have cos phi equal to cos alpha plus this cos delta equal to delta by 2. And this is for rectifier operation, this is for inverter operation. Now, from there we can verify that if I maintain this cos phi high, that means for inverter rectifier case I need to maintain this alpha less, because if alpha is less, cos alpha is more. Similarly here, in inverter case I need to maintain this gamma less, such that this term is 0. This is written. This is written here. So, therefore, to achieve high power factor, alpha for rectifier and this gamma for inverter should be as high as possible, should be as low as possible. Because if these are less, the cost term will be more. So, the rectifier, however, now see, if we think about rectifier, there is always a minimum. We need to provide a minimum fire angle delay. Why? Because when you think about a thyristor, when suppose the voltage at this thyristor valve get positive, and until you don't fire the gate circuit or the thyristor, the amount of voltage which is there across the SCR terminal will be used to charge the circuit that provide the pulses, firing pulses to the thyristor. So that's why there is always a minimum firing angle range has to be provided. These are there by default by construction to the rectifier circuit. So this normally is about 5 degree. Okay. And normal operation, this firing pulses are kept in range of 15 to 20 degree. Okay. Similarly, in case of inverter, you also has this minimum value of gamma also, which is for 15 degree for 50 hertz system Indian scenario, and for USA for 60 hertz it is 18 degree. Now, here we will study the control characteristics. Today we will study only about the IGI characteristics, and next we will study in the next lectures we will study the practical characters. So ideal characteristics, yes, here we will see in the utility system you need to maintain the voltage and current as constant as possible. That means you need to maintain the voltage regulation as well as the current regulation. So for HVDC control, we have two terminals. One is rectifier terminal, another is inverter terminal. So out of these two parameters, that is voltage regulation and current regulation, when we have two terminal, so each terminal will assign in each parameter. That is, each terminal will assign for each of these voltage regulation and current regulation purposes. Okay. Now, out of these, so here the rectifier will be rectifier under normal operation. Under normal operation, the current through rectifier is constant. Under normal operation, the rectifier maintains constant current. The rectifier maintains constant current, and the inverter operates in constant extension angle. Under normal operation, the rectifier maintains constant current, and the inverter operates with constant extension angle. Okay, now what we are doing here, we will find out the the equations or the characteristics of both rectifier and inverter at the one side. That means if we want to find the rectifier, if we want to determine rectifier characteristics, and if you want to compare the rectifier inverter characteristics to find out an operating condition, because to find out an operating condition, we need to match both the operating characteristics of rectifier and inverter. So to match these both the characteristics, we will determine the rectifier terminal characteristics and the rectifier terminal, but the inverter terminal characteristics not at the inverter terminal but at the rectifier terminal. Okay. See, let's see. This VD and ID are nothing but the voltage and current, that is DC voltage and DC current at any point in between the DC link. At any point in between the DC link. Now, as I've said, that current under normal condition, the rectifier operates in the constant current. So, see, rectifier operate at constant current. I am taking that any fixed value ID. This value can be changed, and when this current value will change, this constant current characteristics will change either from left or right. This is rectifier characteristics under normal operating condition, constant current. Okay. Now, and this is the characteristics of the inverter, the equation of the inverter at the rectifier terminal. So that's why this term is included added here. This voltage at the inverter terminal, and as you as you are taking these inverter characteristics to the rectifier side, this voltage drop is gets added. This voltage drop gets added. See, if we think about this side, this voltage is there. Now, if we take this entire terminal to this side, so I need to add this two with this. Okay, so that's why this is here. That's why this is here. That's why this is here. So that's why there is slight voltage drop. There is a slight voltage drop, and at this point these two characteristics are match crossing each other, so this will be called as an operating point. Okay. Since an operating condition is satisfied, both rectifier and inverter characteristics, it is defined intersection of the characteristics E as I've told. Now, the rectifier characteristics can be shifted horizontally, as I've said, by the current command or current order. Inverter characteristics can be raised or lowered means of this transformer tap change. Now, see, these characteristics, inverter characteristics. these characteristics can be lower or upper as if these are constant. This ID is constant because this is a rectifier constant current, so this ID is constant. Now these inverter characteristics can be lower or upper depend on this VD0 cos gamma. Okay, this VD0 cos gamma. That means this voltage, and that means if gamma is this extension angle of inverter is constant, this voltage can be changed by changing this VD0I, and this VD0I can be changed by changing the transformer tap changer setting at the inverter terminal. That is written here. A smooth regulator quickly restores the desired gamma, and as now as the gamma is changed, and from equation 10.33, as the gamma is changed, current will change. Now, as the current will change, but the rectifier operates constant current, so firing alpha will adjust. So in this way, this uh, uh, constant current is maintained at the rectifier terminal. Okay. So this is the ideal characteristics of the converter of the controller HVD system. Next, we will study the practically how these VI characteristics of ID or practical HVD system.